Hello, hello students, hi, welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to see the second part with respect to banking of routes. Right? Last time when I met, I gave the introductory part and we learned the maximum speed, what we have obtained, the expression with respect to banking and the concept of it. Today, we'll see some more elaborative extent and see how another expression for maximum speed can be obtained when we see the real-time scenario of what is exactly happening. I said when we are taking turns in the curvilineous roads or narrow roads, what do we have to do? We have to maintain a particular speed because there is friction between the tires and the road, and there is also the centripetal force of attraction which try to balance each other out. Now, if you are exceeding the limiting friction value, you tend to slip out of the road and you might fall into the bushes or whatever nearby to it. So what you're supposed to do in this particular case, what generally is done, not you are supposed to do, that if you've observed in highways, you see that one part of the road is tilted up. It is like lifted up, you can tell. So what am I trying to say is try to analyze the same situation in a physics analysis type of a manner. For example, I say this is the thing, slope kind of, because I said we are taking a turn and we say that it's lifted from one part. You will observe this in highways where you have curves where you take turns, and in the process I can have a theta, and this is generally my car which is happening to take a turn, and this is the part which is lifted up. Today in this concept we shall analyze one by one the different components of force which comes into existence and also try to resolve force into its theta components, for which you must have learned some basic previously, that is your cos and sin theta, right? Theta, the horizontal is cos and vertical is sine, or else you have to know now that whenever an angle theta is made, with respect to theta, if there is a particular component being drawn in the same direction, that is always a cos component, and something opposite to it is a sine component. These two are the important things that you have to remember now. So what am I trying to say is that if this is the scenario of you going in the highways and there is a turn which you're about to take in some time, and we lift up one side of it so that we see that there is no chance of an accident. Now in this process, what are the different types of forces which exist? You must have learned there is always an upward force, that is your normal force N, and there is a downward force that is existing, that is the weight of the object, which is mg. Yes, you might have some knowledge on this, but what am I saying now is I will show you the free body diagram, that is the FBD, which you call free body diagram. Then we will see how we can resolve the angle theta which will be made with respect to this particular normal force acting here. And also you're supposed to know that when you're taking the turn in this particular road, that is you tend to move out like this in the upward direction, there will be a force of friction which will be acting in this direction. Yes, this is one of the important analysis. In fact, if you are trying to take a movement in the upward direction like this, there is friction always trying to counterbalance in the downward direction. And so when you have this normal force and friction force, as per the physics, we will have a component of theta. Now how do I resolve it into its theta components? For that, you will have to observe this small diagram with respect to what we call is a free body diagram. And then again I'll put up this diagram on the board. Just for a while, observe this. So what I will do, I will just draw a small figure of this. Again, I will elaborately draw it bigger. This was your theta. This is your car which is going up like this, and this is the arrow directions involving it is tilted up. Now I said there is normal and there is mg. So what can I draw in the FBD diagram is that I can perhaps put it up like this. This particular normal force which you happen to see I'm drawing it like this, and this line which you're seeing going down, I draw it as the dotted line. Okay, and I extend one line like this so that I can know that there is an x-axis as well as a y-axis. I will drop this line further down, and this is how it might look like. Not it might, it will look like. And what are the different theta components now I can assign for this? If you can see, with respect to the normal, there is a theta. Yes, theta means angle that is made with respect to normal with this or with two particular surfaces. Here I have an x coordinate and y coordinate, because I said there is normal force acting here, then there is frictional force acting here. Accordingly I can have like this. And hence when I put up that, I can also say that with respect to theta, in this upward direction, towards this theta direction, there will be an n cos theta. Okay, and towards this direction, we will have this n sin theta. Friction will not come here, students. Friction will be somewhere in this bottom half over here. Because I said, when you're taking the turn upwards, friction always tends to act in the downward direction. Friction will surely act here. And so when there is F, that means there is also one theta over here. And so when theta comes over here, towards this direction of this friction, you will have F cos theta, and here you will have F sin theta, which we shall again draw it in the main diagram, and I will show you there. But now understand, we are resolving it. Towards the direction of friction, you will always have cos theta. Away from it, sine. Remember, it's a key point to be noted. Once you have seen this, I know that there is better. We know that there is an angle being made with respect to this downward thing. This is, remember, this friction. I will assign this as 90 degrees. It's a line which is drawn down, right? Then this will be theta, and this will be 90 minus theta. Okay. Now this line can be further extended like this. Then this entire angle will be taken as theta, and this will be taken as 90, and this will be taken as theta. These are some, you can know with the vertically opposite angles, we can make this angular representations. But what is important for you to know, that in the main diagram, how I will now put up the cos and the sine components with respect to the frictional force acting in the downward direction, and also with respect to the normal force acting in the upward direction. So let's put up with that and let's check. Yes, so I can now perhaps rub this from the board. So now I'll draw the bigger version of this. It's always good to draw big diagrams on the board, not small. So just wait. Now if you see, this was our main diagram. This is theta. This is my car which is going in this way. This is, we have lifted up from these both directions, and I've said there is this particular n acting over there, isn't it? You might have seen. Now I say, with respect to this, with the normal straight line, there is a theta component. This is what I already have said, and hence when I have given a theta, this force acting up is n cos theta. Cos component all that towards direction of theta, and the one which is going away from it will be represented as n sin theta. Okay, I've got n cos and n sin theta. And what is the one more force which will try to act over here? Please do not forget about that, that there is also a force of friction, isn't it? And when we know that there is an upward force, there is always a counterbalancing force mg acting over there. We cannot neglect that. And so when I say that when we want to take the turn up, important point is there will be a centripetal force of attraction existing, which will hold your car towards inside. If you're an observer, if you're standing outside, you can have that feeling. Yes, I know when the car takes a turn, there'll be a force of attraction from the road towards the center of the car where is it driving, whoever it is, then that will be centripetal force. And hence I can also say one thing, that over here friction will be acting opposite to it to counterbalance. Two forces always acting in equal opposite directions, that's what I'm saying. And hence when I know there is friction acting in this direction, or I can say yes, there is a component of theta existing over here. Towards this theta I can have this as f cos theta, and towards this bottom I can have f sin theta. Now you got it? The free body diagram which I drew, it's the same. I have resolved it to its cos and sine components. This is a very important part in the concept of this banking of roads, because my ultimate aim is to get the expression for the maximum speed which you will have to maintain when you're taking turns in this particular case scenario where the roads are lifted up. Last class we did not discuss about the lifting up of roads. Today we are discussing that. And henceforth we'll have to take care of this particular thing over here. And hence when I say that, I can now get two expressions and I can further move, because understand, ultimately when you're going in this way, in this particular torque manner, there will be the force of friction, this component of f cos theta and n sin theta, which will hold your car together in the road no matter how much ever the speed you take. You take 20, 40, 60, 100 meter per second, whatever it is. Till a certain point of time, this n sin theta and f cos theta, which are constant values, that's an important point. The values of friction and the components of theta, normal force and the component do not change. Till a point of time, they will hold your car together on the road, and if the value of your car's velocity increases, or it becomes more than a value of combined of this both, there will be again a chance of accident. And so for that, now my next aim is to get the expression for that maximum speed which you have to maintain. Because you can never say that I will just keep on, even the road is lifted, so what, I will go at 100, 200 meter per second, whatever the speed I feel like. No. Because you are not changing the angle, right? There is an angle theta existing that you are not changing. You are just increasing the speed, and as long as these both n sin theta and f cos theta will balance you out, you are fine, well and fine. If not, you just slip out of the road. Henceforth, I can now take two expressions. You can see an upward force and downward force. You have read this chapter. If you have read, you must be like knowing we generally apply this Newton's third law of forces, equal and opposite. So I can have upward and downward and try to get an expression. Therefore I can get one expression, beautiful expression over here. If you observe it carefully, what do you see the upward force to be here as? M cos theta. And what do you see the downward force to be here as? Mg plus f sin theta. So write that down. Mg plus f sin theta. This becomes your expression 1. Students, you'll have to write, because you'll have to rub this from the board to put up the next expression number 2. Or I can put it up. I still have a good space, I can put it up. Henceforth, what I said, you are an observer like this, standing outside and observing the car in the highway, for example, is taking a sharp turn in a curvilineous road, and therefore you will know that there will be a centripetal force of attraction from the car where it is placed, from the center of the car to the boundary, the circumference. Yes, from the circumference or the boundary of the road till the car, there will be a force of attraction, that is centripetal force, which will try to balance or will be equal to the frictional component which is acting in the downward direction. That means your f cos theta plus n sin theta will be equal to the centripetal force of attraction. Now if you are sitting inside the car, I am talking outside. Now if you are sitting inside, you will have the feeling that there is a force from inside to the circumference. That is the centrifugal force of attraction. Either ways, if you are inside or outside, there will be a centripetal or centrifugal force of attraction which will keep your car binded together, and understand, you'll have a frictional force also acting at the same point of time. And hence, my second expression is based on that when you're an observer standing outside, basically that's the main point over here, you say that the combination of your friction force, that is your combination of your normal n sine theta plus f cos theta will be equal to the centripetal force of attraction which is existing towards your right. That means I'm telling the force on the right is equal to force on the left. Generally, if you want to resolve this, it's like your tensional force equals to your frictional force. That's what I'm trying to say. Hence, this will be equal to mv square by r. This is your equation 2. Our aim is to get the expression for this maximum speed from these two expressions. Let's go about it. And this is a very important topic with respect to class 11 NCRT, and you get in your exams generally banking of road to be explained. This makes things quite simpler when you get the feeling over the subject and try to imagine a lot and learn. So what I can do here is from both expressions, I will divide expression 2 by 1. And now when I want to do that, now I am going to rub the board, expecting that you already taken this thing down. Yes, hoping that you have taken it down, because I need to put up the expression and obtain what can be the best expression for V. I have given the explanation for the diagram, how did I get my theta components, what exactly is happening. Now our work is to see and look forward with respect to the expressions. Let's get it done. Henceforth, I rub the diagram from the board. Okay. The Vmax is written there because that is our objective in this particular session today, which you are learning how we obtain it. You have your equation 1 and 2. I said that we are going to divide equation 2 by equation 1. Okay, and so when I do that, the expression turns out to be as n sine theta plus f cos theta divided by your, we'll do one thing, this expression number 1 can be further expressed as, just make a quick note of this, mg equals to n cos theta minus f sine theta. Make a quick note of this, let this be the expression 1, so that our simplification becomes simpler. And hence I can put this up as n cos theta minus f sine theta, which is equal to your mv square by r divided by your mg. A good 1 minute time I'll give you over here. What did I do? I just said you guys to have an expression with the mg written as n cos theta minus f sine theta, so that our simplification becomes simpler. Hope you have done that. Okay. Now I want to rub this part so that we can get the expression for this v square, which is important. And so when we go forward, this is what it will look like. Henceforth, when we divide this, we can do one thing. We are saying that the V equals to the V max. This is important, and at the same time understand the friction, which is equal to mu into n, that's the coefficient of normal force as the formula goes, will also be mu max into n. That means there will be a maximum force of friction 2 acting at this point of time. You can't feel like whatever the speed I take so that it will save me, even though there is a lifting up of the, that doesn't happen. You'll have to look after this, and so I will substitute in the place of f as mu into n, or I can write mu s into n, like a static friction existing there. Okay, coefficient of static friction. Hence this looks like n sine theta plus mu into your n cos theta, right? As that we subscript as, that's your thing, choice you can write. If you don't write, there is no harm. N cos theta minus mu s into n sine theta. If you carefully observe this expression, what we have got over here, I can take the n common. So when I take the n common, the equation further looks like this. It will look like n into sine theta plus mu s cos theta divided by n into cos theta minus mu s sine theta. Okay, and what about this part? Why did we ignore that? We can't ignore that part, right? What was written over there? We had expression 2 by expression 1, isn't it? That was written as your mg mv square by r by mg, right? Cannot neglect that. So when we do that, this will look like mv square by r into your 1 by mg. This m and n cancels out, it will be like v square by rg. This n and n cancels out here, right? So this is a bit of mathematics. Fun. I want to further move on with an expression. Now in physics, always there comes or there happens to be small important tricks to be applied at such point of time. So I will divide by cos theta, both the numerator and the denominator. And when I do that, sine by cos will be tan. Understand? Mu s, cos by cos cancels out, so mu s will be mu s. Cos by cos again becomes 1. Sine by cos becomes tan. So 1 by mu s tan theta. And what is left over here? V square by rg. What was our intention? To get an expression for this. Henceforth, this can be written as V square equals to this r. I will write it as, I take it as a capital, betterment for better expression, looks good. Rg into tan theta plus mu s by 1 minus mu s tan theta. And ultimately I need to remove this square, right? So this will be like root Rg into tan, put a bracket like this, tan theta plus mu s by 1 minus mu s tan theta. This will be the ultimate expression of the maximum speed which one needs to apply on a bank curved road. This is the ultimate elaborative explanation of this concept which we started 2 days back. Right? Did you get it now? Till here if you come, then you get to know that yes, this is the concept which we were working on. Now understand, so what will the ultimate analysis? When you are taking the turn, make sure that your radius is increased. Radius means the distance from the road till your car. Get a further increase in it and then take the turn. Otherwise, you will slip out and there will be disaster, accident. So when you do what? When you decrease your radius, what happens in the process? Your mv square by r, centripetal force, increases and your friction will also increase in the process, and that will save you from accidents. Even though if you decrease this, perhaps it will, if you suppose you increase it, this might not be the case. It will not help you at any cost. Ensure that your radius is decreased so that centripetal force has an increase and friction also increases, and therefore don't have an accident occurring over there. Now sometimes I will say that there can be an ideal situation also. What is ideal situation? Saying that friction is 0, this coefficient also 0. Then I can have an expression, say Vmax equals to root mu s. If it is 0, this will look like Rg tan theta. Now if I have Rg into tan theta, then this is no more said as Vmax, it's said as V0. That is like the optimum speed which the car can maintain. Henceforth, I hope you have got the understanding that the frictional force with the normal with its component of cos as well as with the sign for friction, they help us in balancing when you take sharp turns with huge speeds at those highways or curvilineous roads, and then they're lifted up. That brings me to the end of this concept, and I hope students you have made a note of these expressions which I put up on the board, or rewind my videos and check. It will surely help you out. Thank you on that note. We'll meet sometime later. Okay, thank you.